Peace, family. It's your brother, Marc Lamont Hill. You are listening to the Classroom and the Cell podcast. I am joined by the esteemed, the inimitable, what's your name, brother?
They calls me Mumia.
I love it. They call you a lot of things.
They call me a lot of things, everything but a child of God.
I know that's right, man. It was funny yesterday. We were talking, and as I pulled up to my bookstore, Uncle Bobby's Coffee and Books, in the store was a brother.
This is a call from
Pennsylvania State Correctional Institution, Mahanoy.
This call is subject to recording and monitoring.
So rude.
I know. They got no respect, man. No
None
respect.
whatsoever.
We pulled up on the store, and excuse the noise, y'all. I'm out and about, but we were in the store, and Dr. Mark Anthony Neal was sitting there, the esteemed Duke professor, the author of many books, including Looking for Leroy, which is about black masculinity, and New Black Man, which is like a really revolutionary text on black masculinity and black male feminism, or black male feminism. Yeah, and so Mark got a chance to talk to Mumia for a second, man, and it just got me thinking about just about what those terms mean. I mean, you said to me before we started the recording that how much that those books, especially New Black Man, meant to you, and what it got you thinking about in terms of not just feminism, but just more broadly thinking about masculinity, manhood, all this stuff.
Well, I think all of how we see ourselves reflects what? Our status and our position, or lack of same, in this society. And, we should never forget that we live, all of us, no matter how much money we make, no matter what prestigious titles we gain, all of us live under a collective cone of oppression. And that has been the situation for centuries. And even though our legal situation...
This is a call from
Pennsylvania State Correctional Institution, Mahanoy.
This call is subject to recording and monitoring.
Still rude. Even though our legal situation has, been transformed by time, it's always a situation of deficit, of lack, of, I think, a profound systemic anti-blackness. And, Fanon used to say that, being black was a zone of non-being. And that's because at bottom, our humanity is always in question. And here's the irony. There would be no human beings without black human beings who were the first to walk on this planet. Come on now.
That's fact.
We don't do that. So, who can dare question, or anyone who questions the humanity of black people is challenging the humanity of their parents. I would say great-great-great-grandmothers and great-great-great-grandfathers. And when we live in this kind of colonial relationship in society, it affects how we see not just ourselves, but certainly ourselves, but how we see and interact with each other. And I was telling you before we began recording that, because brothers are so concerned with being cool, we so cool, we cold. We look at that as a virtue, and we look at, like, love as a sign of softness or womanly.
Weakness, yeah.
You dig? When, love is the greatest gift besides creation itself. It is a gift, a grace that none of us deserve, but all of us, deeply want. So, we can be cold if we want to be. But, what's the point? You're
right.
hiding your emotions. You're not responding to your partner's needs. and or your children when you think about it. And,
It definitely shapes how we see ourselves as partners, as fathers. Mark Anthony Neal in New Black Man talks about that. How do you imagine fatherhood or partnership at the same time that you're trying to reimagine masculinity and manhood? I mean, who takes care of the children? Who changes the diaper? Who takes out the trash? Who, lifts the heavy box? We have very specific gender roles in our relationships that sometimes we can find legitimate value in, but then there's stuff where it's like, okay, this is just patriarchy. Okay, this is just we just doing this because that's what we do. Like I know brothers that just will tell me we sitting in a barbershop and they'll just be like, yo, I can't be with no woman that make more money than me. There ain't no good reason.
You ain't gonna be with no woman, bro.
Right. Especially these days, right?
Hey, come on, sisters are like shining like stars in the firmament of heaven, man, in every field of human endeavor.
Right.
They're in the law schools, the medical schools, every school, every school you can name, is full of sisters, rumbling in the field of education.
Right.
And again, back to our coolness. We've learned that being educated is not cool. How does that happen? I was thinking about the boy. I was thinking about the brother 2 Chainz. Who earned a psychology degree at an historical black college, and when somebody found out about it and got online about it, he got an attitude like, you messing with my image, bro. When he should be proud of that accomplishment, man, because especially in the elevated cultural space that he has, of being a rapper, you dig?
Yeah.
And he can influence tens of thousands of people. And come on, man. Come on, man. Our heroes used to be W.B. Du Bois. My mama used to say he educated within an inch of his life, and he was a brilliant black man, a Pan-Africanist, an organizer. One of the early people struggling for civil rights. And a great historian, a great scholar. And, I think you talk to most brothers and sisters, well, not sisters, but you talk to brothers in the community, they don't know his name.
Yeah.
And, and that's a shame, man.
We gotta change that. The thing I also think about though is, how black manhood, black masculinity, it's bound up in the coldness you talk about. Sometimes it gets tied to anti-intellectuality, which isn't our tradition, but it gets assigned to us. It's also about violence. It's also about violence. It's also about, all these other things. And I think about, and we're going to have to continue this conversation next time too, because I got some questions for you. But, I also think about how to get out of that zone at the same time that there is such functionality in it. In other words, you can't walk through the hood looking like you can't fight.
Right.
Because if you walk through the hood looking like you can't fight, you're going to have to fight. A lot of times looking like you can fight stops you from having to fight.
Yeah.
So there's a way that some of this hyper-masculinity and some of this cool posing is not just posturing. And while it might be unhealthy at a certain level, in our very real world, there's some functionality to it. If I'm, I remember I used to take the bus I used to go to school up in the Northeast. So middle school, I got bussed out. We take SEPTA. And when I would get on that 56 bus going back, I would pass through Frankfurt. I would pass through Kensington. There was a school, Harding. Man, we would look as hard and as gangsters as we could when them kids got on that bus, because if we didn't, we was going to be rumbling in the back.
Right. Exactly. Well, brother, listen, I apologize. They just told me I got a visit. I didn't know it was coming.
Oh, look, take that visit, man. Visit means it's the FaceTime. It means snacks. It means I
might be singing.
Right. Hey, right.
Hey, listen, we're gonna have to do this again. I love you, brother. It's been a
Love you
pleasure.
too, man. We're gonna keep this conversation going, yo. I love you, man. On the move. We talk soon.
The move.
Everybody, you've been listening to the Classroom in the Cell podcast.
The caller has hung up.
That's it, man. Like you said, rude. Family, you've been listening to the Classroom in the Cell podcast. It's your brother Marc Lamont Hill here with Mumia. We got cut a little bit short because Mumia got a visitor, which is always a blessing. And make sure you visit your family, your friends, your comrades who are in these dungeons, man. They need all the face-to-face time they can get. In the meantime, we're going to pick up this conversation next time because we want to talk about black masculinity, what it is, what it isn't. Is it really under attack? Do we really need to imagine manhood differently? And how can people like Mark Anthony Neal and others help us think through this stuff? You can check out all the episodes on YouTube. It's called The Classroom and the Cell. Go to the Marc Lamont Hill official YouTube channel and grab all of the content. Also, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that join button so you become a member of the channel, a member of the family, and help us support the efforts to put out good, strong, courageous political education. Love y'all. Talk to y'all soon. On the move.